Hey guys, it's me, Trevis. Just finished watching the season premiere of season 5 of The Masked Singer, and as part of our brand new TrevisTries playlist or video segment or whatever you want to call it, we are doing TrevisTries, this being TrevisTries Guessing the Masked Singers. So it's the first season, only one person gets eliminated at the end of or the first episode, only one person gets eliminated, unmasked at the end of the episode. But every single episode, I'm going to be doing one of these videos and trying to guess who the masked singer is, maybe changing up my thoughts from the previous one to this one, all that jazz. If this is something that is interesting to you and you want to see more of this for the masked singer, make sure you click the thumbs up on this video, like the video for me, and then if you haven't yet, follow, aka subscribe to this channel as well, so you can constantly be in the loop of every time I drop one of these videos or a video for something else you might find entertaining. So that being said, let's go through all of them in order. So the first thing we have is we had the Russian doll, which if you watch the trailer or the teaser, they had the Russian dolls perform. It wasn't actually that song, so I don't know if it's a clip from a different episode, or if they just filmed them doing a song before they aired anything. I'm not sure what that teaser was. If it was just a certain recording just for the teaser, we'll see if they sing it later on in the season or not. So I already had some ideas on the Russian doll. We did say there are two. I'm very positive there are three. There's two people inside the bigger one. And it's 90% Hanson is my guess. Hanson is going to be the guess. When I first saw the teaser when they were performing, my first guess, which I'm not really on right now after seeing this first episode, but the first one was when I first started hearing the first singer, the Russian doll that was holding the wand mic. I was like, it sounds like it's Shawn Mendes. And then the guy voice, country voice that was in the bigger one, I was like, okay, well, it's kind of a country southern twang. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's Shawn Mendes. And so I started looking up online. I go, has Shawn Mendes ever done any kind of project or album or solo song or single with a country singer? And then I found out that he performed with Zac Brown Band as part of one of CMT's things. And then I'm listening. I go, that sounds like Zac Brown. And I listened to it again. I go, that sounds exactly like Zac Brown. But then there's another voice inside, a lot higher octave voice inside the Russian doll with the older voice, the older guy voice. And I was like, okay, what female would make sense with, or a female range of voice would make sense with Shawn Mendes and Zac Brown? And the only thing that I could think of was, I don't know if they're still dating, but Shawn Mendes' girlfriend, I think, what was her name, Colby Calais, something like that. So it's like thinking like that, but like, man, that's pretty awkward to have her and sharing a Russian doll with Zac Brown. But that's what I was kind of thinking of during the teaser. Now listening to them sing this different song, I'm 90% sure it's Hanson. I think Taylor's the one with the wand mic, and then Isaac and Zach. Zach being the higher octave voice, the one that not feminine, but just higher octave, which is why I thought of a girl in the first place. So that's out of all of them, I think today that was the one that I was most confident on. Besides one other one we'll get to in a second. So we're thinking the Russian doll. There's three voices. We're thinking it's the three Hanson brothers. Moving on to the next one, the Snail. As soon as the Snail started singing, I watched this show with my wife. As soon as the Snail started singing, I was like, it sounds like the voice of Kermit. And I go, and she's like, yeah, it'd be funny if it was Kermit. And I was thinking, I go, it wouldn't be the voice of Kermit because there's kids that watch this, and they would never have a voice of either like a Muppet or a Sesame Street character, or they wouldn't have that on a show that kids would want to watch, because that would kind of ruin the magic. It's like saying it's like the voice of Mickey Mouse or something like that. And so I knew that they wouldn't do that. And so, but the first thing I said out loud is that sounds like it's a voice of Kermit. So we're trying to think of other things, and they're showing the clues of the talk show. So I'm like, I would go, okay, is it Jay Leno? No, it doesn't like Jay Leno. One of the judges did guess that it might have been Jay Leno, and then I think one of the final guesses, one of the first impression guesses that what's his face? I can't even remember his name. First judge, man, it's late in the night. I can't remember his name is. His guess was Seth Macfarlane. I go, I think that could make sense because how he's good at manipulating his voice. Maybe he does have a good Kermit voice. I don't know. So that was the first thing there was, it was the voice of Kermit, and then, okay, what host, if because they can't ruin the magic by having the guy that's the voice of Kermit, what host is good at throwing his voice? And so I was kind of agreeing with Seth Macfarlane there a little bit. The next singer we had was the Seashell. The clues didn't really help at all. Two of the guesses that came from the judges was Hilary Duff and Jennifer Love Hewitt. I don't think it's Jennifer Love Hewitt. Hilary Duff is interesting. That's something on the next episode. Spoiler alert, she didn't get eliminated. The Seashell. Next episode I'll be listening for. I don't know if I would recognize Hilary Duff's voice because I haven't seen that show or heard from her at all in like 30 years, it feels like. But I have no real guesses for that one. I have zero clue on the Seashell, but I will be listening for Hilary Duff because that kind of makes sense a little bit. Then we have the Raccoon that comes on. The Raccoon had the raspiest voice ever. Raspy old guy that is not a good singer. If he was a good singer, he's no longer a good singer. And the first thing that popped in my head was, like a Mickey Rourke, but they already had on the show, which also had that raspy, I suck at singing voice. And he wanted to be off the show, so he self-eliminated himself because he didn't want to be on the show anymore. And so when the guy started singing, I was like, okay, well, it's definitely some old raspy guy. I don't think it's someone that used to be a singer, because even though he's really old and his voice is raspy, you still have, Johnny Cash, late in age, still had that great singing voice, even though he was very, very old. And one of the judges said Nick Nolte, and I've heard Nick Nolte scream so many times in movies, even when he got really old. I feel like he's always been old in movies. Like, okay, Nick Nolte kind of makes sense. We'll see at the end of this episode, because clearly Raccoon by a mile was the worst singer out of everybody. But Nick Nolte is what I was leaning on before they got to the next singer. Only because one of the judges said that, I'm like, okay, that kind of makes sense. And then we have the Porcupine, a.k.a. the Robo-Pine, who, after he was done singing, his masked voice said that he was a grandpa and he was 60 years old, which the judges thought he was just lying to throw people off, but he could still have that kind of voice at 60 years old. You never know. So we're not really sure on the Robo-Pine if he is 60 years old. That clue doesn't help anyway, because I didn't have an under 60 guess. I didn't have an over 60 guess. And because he said that, we don't know if he's telling the truth or not. So him saying that just makes it harder to guess, because is he lying? Is he not lying? So I'm not sure. I don't have any real guesses. One of the guesses was, Genuine. Somebody else guessed. I think Jamie Foxx, he always gets brought up, was guessed as well. Neither of those guys are 60 years old. I think my wife might have said, it'd be funny if it was Terry Crews. He's pushing, his late 50s, but I think Terry Crews' build is a little bit bigger than the Robo-Pine's upper body. But who knows? But yeah, so when all's said and done, if you haven't watched the episode yet and you plan on doing it, I would stop right now. Because I'm about to talk about the end. So don't watch the rest of this. Now that I said that, and you still haven't stopped this video, I 100% would have put a lot of money on the Raccoon getting eliminated. When they said the Snail, my mind was blown. The Raccoon was the worst. And it reminds me of when they had Gronk on, a season or two ago, and Gronk made it all the way to the semifinals. He was the worst, and they only put him on there because he has such a good social media following, and people want to watch because they know it's Gronk. It's not even a guess. You knew right off the bat it was Gronk. They said there's a 3-time or 4-time, however many Super Bowls he had, 3-time Super Bowl champion is going to be on this show. So they already said that. So you're okay, who has won multiple Super Bowls? Okay, a Patriots player has won multiple Super Bowls. That's the only people in the last 10 years who have won 3 has been the Patriots. So you knew there was already Gronk, and so they just kept bringing him on because even though he sucked, because he brought a lot of those viewers in. I don't know why they're keeping the Raccoon. The Raccoon has to be somebody so powerful that he could bring viewers on, even though he's the worst singer in I think he's worse than Mickey Rourke. I think he's the worst singer, period, out of the entire 5 seasons. But they kept him on. And it's not even that, nobody knows who he is. So how is he bringing more people on if nobody knows who he is? So I don't know why they did that. But they did eliminate the Snail, took off the hat on the Snail. Nothing popped out for a hot second. And then, of course, it was Kermit. So we were right. We got that one right. Because I immediately said it sounds like a voice of Kermit. And the wife said, wouldn't it be funny if it was Kermit that popped out of there? And I was thinking, they can't bring out the guy that does the voice of Kermit because there's kids that watch the show and it'll ruin the magic. So they didn't. They just brought out Kermit himself. but that's definitely a recognizable voice by a mile. So yeah, so of all the ones that I've mentioned so far, let me know in the comments what you think. So the Russian doll, we're leaning on Hanson. The snail, we got right with the Kermit. The seashell, we're clueless on. Hilary Duff was the best judge guess. That makes sense. Raccoon, no idea. Raspy old guy. Nick Nolte is what we're leaning on based on the judge guess. We have no legit guesses for the Robopine. 60 years old, is he not? He says his grandpa, is he not? So if you have any concrete ideas on who you think those guys are, let me know in the chat. Or not the chat, but the comment section. If you disagree with any of the ideas I have, or if you agree with the ideas I have, also let me know in the comments as well. And just make sure you come back to this channel here for the season 5, episode 2 rundown. We'll be doing the exact same thing. We'll go through, we'll go back to the Russian doll. If I change my mind after episode 2, I'll go back and be like, no, actually, after that song, after those clues, I think it's this. And we're just gonna keep going through the whole entire season. Little fun game here. But definitely let me know in the comments what you think about the entire season premiere. I'm assuming everybody in their right mind has to agree on me that the Raccoon should have been eliminated. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. No idea why they still kept him. I don't know who votes on these things. Maybe I can only guess that it wasn't a vote, that because I feel like they wanted Kermit to be the season premiere, so people would talk about it. Like, did you see that Kermit was inside? So I think it was just a marketing ploy. Now that I'm thinking out loud, now that I'm recording this, and that's what it is. It wasn't a vote. It was a marketing ploy. The same thing with Mickey Rourke. Like, he knew he was done, so he took off his mask before they even voted. But yeah, Kermit was. Now that I think about it, yeah, it was a marketing ploy. That's why the Raccoon's still in. But the Raccoon should have got eliminated because they sucked. So yeah, let me know in the comments, and I'll see you guys for the next episode. See ya.